back to another video. Today in this video we're going to be doing an hour video with my friend Jack here. We're going to be doing some duos on PC servers, so yeah, gonna get ready for me to get wrecked and stuff. So yeah, enjoy the video basically. Yeah, cool.
Come vote on my poll.
Yeah, also check out Jack's
video.
channel and his Instagram.
My channel.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Fuck doing a fucking non-live stream, fam. We're doing a real live stream.
Cool. What do you want to do, like a challenge or something?
No, we're just gonna do commentary.
Cool. So this is how my little story started out, how my life got turned upside down. I started as a little boy in Kent, and I came back to Lauriston as a millionaire.
Alright. So my teacher said this. I'm gonna talk about the thing that, what's it called? When my teacher said, oh yeah, I'm gonna bend you over.
Oh, you're not making a video, yeah?
Come.
And I'm uploading it. So yeah.
So, this is a new type of challenge. Not challenge, but video. So, today guys, I'm going to be doing a commentary video is where you talk about something with something going on in the back. So, today I'm going to be doing it with some Fortnite gameplay in the back, but I'm going to be talking about something that happened. So, it was a normal day, just normal stuff. It was a Monday, so I had double maths. So, I had break, had Spanish, had English, and then I had break, Spanish, maths, and then in my first maths lesson, my maths teacher's like, he didn't know what he's doing. I think he's gonna get fighting. So my maths teacher had no clue what he was doing, like no clue what he was doing. This was one of the first days he ever came into school, so he had no clue what he was doing. He was just like, it's like they basically just hand out leaflets on the street who wants to be a teacher basically, because he was like the most shittiest teacher you'll ever. Like, I'm not even joking, he don't know how to teach. Like, he literally teaches my class absolutely nothing. Alright, cool. Let me stop waffling now, and it's a story. So this happened once. So basically, we was all having our second maths lesson of the day, and then he decided to be a bit weird. He was just like, oh yeah, hey guys, my name's Mr. Okoro. And then we were just like, good morning, Mr. Okoro. But he was trying to be like cool with us, because like, he didn't want to be one of those teachers who is like a proper jackass, but like, he doesn't know what he's doing basically. So then he was like, hey guys, I'm Mr. Okoro, and then we're just like, good morning, sir. Mr. Howard's like the head of maths. Let's just call him John. Like, oh yeah, because we used to have an old maths teacher, but he broke his leg or something. So we got this new maths teacher, and he was like, good morning class, and then after like half an hour, the head of maths left, then we had him all by ourselves. It's like you know when you just have like that awkward silence in the room. So yeah, he was like that, and then we was all just getting on with our work that he gave us. It was easy as fuck work though, so it was easy. So then that happened, and then the last 20 minutes of the lesson, let's say, he was like this. Oh yeah guys, because someone in my class, let's call him Bob. So Bob was like, oh yeah sir, he was like, sir, can I go? Obviously sir said no, just because he didn't know the actual answer. So then yeah, when he said no, the kid started tapping his ruler on the table, and then when the kid tapped his ruler on the table, he started going these exact words. Can you stop banging your ruler on the table? The kid continued banging his ruler on the table. Can you stop banging your ruler on the table? The kid literally continued going like this. He was 50 or some shit, yeah. And then we was just all getting along, yeah, all like meeting the new teacher. He sounded calm at first, but then like this really weird thing happened. Then he was like, oh yeah class, can you guys stop this? And then, can you guys stop disrespecting me? I'm your like all like, oh yeah, respect me and all that. So then we was just like, okay sir, yes sir, yeah, all the normal stuff. And then he was like, oh yeah, Bob, can you stop banging your ruler? How would you feel if I banged you against the table? That is when, yeah, we just snapped. We just, from now on, yeah, we just take the piss out of him. Like, that math teacher, yeah, he was just like the most shittiest math teacher in the world. Like, he shouldn't even be a math teacher. That's how bad he is.
He sounds
And
like
then
a
obviously,
pedophile.
exactly. Then he was like, how would you feel if I banged you on the table? And then everyone obviously started laughing just because, like, you know, year sevens, like, they got dirty minds. I was like, I have to admit, I do have fucking a bit of a fucking fucked up mind, but still. So yeah, all the year sevens were just laughing in his class. So then when everyone was just laughing in his class, he was just like, oh yeah, why are you guys laughing? And then I put up my hand, obviously being like the fucking crackhead I am. I was like, oh yeah, I was like, oh yeah, sir, you just said you're gonna bend him over. And then he was like, yes, and I was like, what, so you want to, you know what, with him? And then he was like, no, that is not what I meant. He had like a sort of an accent, so he was like, no, this is not what I meant, no. And then he was like, are you sure, sir? And then he was like, yes. And then he was like, after, your behaviour is really pissing me off. Like, he legit swore in front of the whole class. Like, I know that's not really a bad word, but like, for a teacher to say that, you don't go about your everyday life just seeing teachers just going, you guys really piss me off, do you? You don't see that, do you? No, you don't. So then everyone just proceeded to do their work. We only had like 2 minutes left of the lesson now. So obviously, being the fucking jackass, I told my mum. My mum was like, this is absolutely outrageous. My mum went to the school. Mum went to the school, she was like, oh yeah, sir, one of your teachers told my son in his class to piss off. And then the teacher was like, Jack, are you sure you're not lying? And then this was the head of maths, John, let's just call him, yeah. This was the head of maths, John. So we was just like, I'm sure I'm not lying, sir. And then he was like, are you sure you're not lying? Because obviously you don't want to realise that you fucked up. Like, obviously you don't want to realise that you fucked up. Then he was like, oh yeah, whatever. He was like, oh yeah, no, I was like, oh yeah, I'm sure I didn't mess up. And then he was like, are you sure, Jack? Because you do know if you are lying, you'll be in deep, sincere trouble. And then I was like, what the hell does sincere even mean? I didn't actually say that, but I was just thinking out in my head, like, who in their right mind uses the word sincere? Like, unless you're flipping talking about someone dying or some shit like that. So
yeah,
then,
from
my mum's
sincere.
like, yeah, can you stop? My mum, yeah, she's like, my mum's the best, yeah. She like, if anyone starts talking, like, if any teachers start being rude to me, yeah, she'll back me up to the end days, yeah, as long as I'm right. Like, if I'm just wrong and I'm just trying to waffle, yeah, my mum don't stick up for me. But if I'm actually right, yeah, she sticks up for me till like day's end. So then he was like, okay, this like some FBI agent or some shit. So then I told my friends that I told the maths teacher. That I told my mum, and then my mum told the maths teacher. Then we started laughing, and then from now we should take the piss out of that teacher, basically. Sorry if you're seeing this, fuck you. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I know one teacher does watch my videos. I see you, Miss McPherson.
Oh, Miss McPherson.
And then what's it called? Yeah, so yeah. And then we were just like, after that, he was like, he already knows I'm a little shithead. Like, now whatever I say, he always just tries to pretend like he doesn't say it now. So then oh yeah, I got a treasure map, by the way. When he said, it's right over here. When he said that, I was like, so you just said the P word, saying the piss off word. And he was like, Jack, why are you lying? And I'm just like, I'm not, sir, that's what you literally just said. And then he was like, no, I never. And I was like, okay, yes, you did. And then, like, he wouldn't even accept it, but he knew he'd done wrong because he just went to his desk and just sat down.
And fell asleep.
Yeah, after that, everyone just ignored him. The next day comes, I have him again. Guess what he does?
People.
He makes an email. He legit makes an email. It was so bait he made the email. He thinks I'm like 5 years old. He makes an email from it looked like it's from Mr. Howard, the head of maths, saying, oh yeah, if Jack gets any detentions or bees rude in any of my classes, just send him straight out or in the BSU. So obviously I'm just like a bit skeptical about this, because I'm like, why? And then, because obviously I didn't do nothing wrong then. So then he was like, hey Lily. So obviously when he was just like, oh yeah, you're getting put in BSU, which is like it's basically like isolation basically from all the other students. So obviously I'm fine in the BSU just because the BSU is actually quite calm. Like, there's a teacher who's literally like the calmest guy on earth. He just will back you to the days on. So yeah, he was because he apparently I was teacher because he said because basically Lily someone was bending their ruler in class, like tapping their ruler on the table, and then the teacher said, "How would you feel if I banged you on the table?" So then obviously, and then I tell him after the lesson, so you just said I banged you on the table. So then he was like, "No, I never," and I was like, "Sir, I'm pretty sure you just did." And then I obviously the guy that I am, yeah, funny guy, yeah. I don't mean to be like one of those people who are just like, oh yeah, I'm so funny, but like people call me funny all the time. I don't get how I'm funny, but like still, people call me funny. So then I'm just like, sir, well, you did say that because everyone heard you. Oh, what, you lose full damage from that? So then he was like, oh yeah, no, I never said that. So then it's like, yes. And then he was like, oh. And then he just like started lying about it, like pretending like no one even heard him. Like, what the hell? So then obviously being the guy I was, I told my mum now he literally is on probation. Well, I think he's on probation because he keeps having meetings with my head of maths, which means probably he's getting fired. Because that maths teacher is literally like they just pulled him off the streets. You're so like they just asked some homeless man, not trying to be rude to any homeless people out here, yeah, but it's like they literally asked some homeless man just to be a teacher, just like, oh yeah, we're running low on staff, can you be our new maths teacher? Like literally that's what he's like. So then the teacher just like puts me in the behaviour support unit, which is basically the class where like loads of people go if they go in fights or something, or that sort of class. And
Yeah, I've been there.
then I was like, for apparently cyberbullying, he's been in there, when he just told some kid to F off on PS4. So basically he was, I asked the teacher obviously because he just dumped me in there like without even me knowing why I was in there, because obviously you're allowed to ask why you're in there. Then he was like, oh, for being rude to a teacher, and then I was like, sir, I wasn't rude to you, you said something. And he was like, well, yes, you were rude to me because I'm just gonna make it up now. Okay then, I was like, so you're just gonna make it up now? And then he was like, no, I'm not making nothing up, you said that to me. And I was like, yeah, sir, I was just telling you what you said. Because basically he told the class after that, after he drew on the table, he like literally my maths teacher said to us, oh yeah, because someone was like rubbing all over their ruler and stuff. Hi Jay. So everyone was just mucking about in this class. So then he was just banging his ruler on the table. He got in trouble and he got detention for no reason. This kid literally done nothing wrong and he got detention. So then he was just like, he just started banging his ruler just to piss off the teacher. And then the kid was just like, the kid started banging his ruler, and then the teacher was just like, oh yeah, how would you feel if I banged you on the table? So obviously everyone started laughing, being the year 7's the art. Obviously if you're in year 7, you obviously have a dirty mind. Like everyone in year 7 has a dirty mind. You can't say you don't have a dirty mind. So then obviously being the people that we are, we started laughing at it, and then yeah, I told him what he said after the lesson. Like I didn't say it in the lesson just to embarrass him. I said it after the lesson purposely so he didn't get embarrassed. And he was like, Jack, why are you swearing at me? And then I was like, sir, you're the one who said you're going to bend us over, and you're the one who said for us to piss off. Because he literally said to us, oh yeah, your behaviour is really pissing me off. You guys just piss off. And then I was like, obviously being the person I am, I just put up my hand here and I was like, so you just said pissing off. And then he was like, Jack, get out of my classroom. And I was like, why so? And then because obviously if a teacher just sends you out of a classroom, you're not good to go out and just be like, yes sir, of course. Like obviously you're going to ask about it. So then I was like, okay sir, why am I getting sent out of the classroom? Because obviously you're allowed to ask why you get sent out of the classroom. So then once he sent me out of the classroom, he was like, Jack, why did you swear at me? Why did you say you're really pissing me off? And I was like, sir, I was just repeating what you said. Then he realised what he said, then he was like, no, you're lying to me. See, Jack, you're lying. And then he tried making out like I was lying. But then obviously, like, because the whole trying to get the class to gang up on me, like, and then the class all heard it, yes, and the class was all obviously sticking up for me. And then, what's it called? Everyone was just sticking up for me. So then this maths teacher got in trouble, and then, yeah. And then now he's on, I think he's on probation, I'm not sure. So probation is basically where if you do something, you'll get fired. Well, I hope this teacher gets fired because it's like they literally picked him up off the streets. Like, not even lying, this teacher, I have not learnt nothing since my old teacher left. Like, nothing. So, yeah. I hope this guy gets fired. And that's pretty much it. So now I'm going to start playing Fortnite.
Yeah, but I ignore because.
Oh, input blocked. I have to pound PS4.
Cool.
So yeah, obviously he was a bit like embarrassed, and he just sent me out of the class. He sent me to the behaviour support unit, which is basically for naughty children. I go there a lot. And then he was like, "Oh yeah, and then obviously I asked why I'm in here. So then I was like, "Sir, why am I in here?" Then he was like, "Oh yeah, you're in here because you told the teacher to piss off." And I was like, "Yeah, but sir, I was just repeating what you said." At like let's say 1 o'clock in the afternoon, some teacher comes in, like the head of, like, not even the head of maths, like some irrelevant teacher, like some irrelevant like teacher. Yeah, they just come in just being like, "You're coming out the BSU," and I'm just like, "Oh, how come?" And then they were just, because obviously I'm gonna just act cocky because they just put me in the BSU for no reason. And I was like, "Oh, how come?" So then they were like, "Oh, because the teacher was lying," and I was like, "Oh, should he be in deep trouble?" And then they was like, "Oh no, he just made a little very worn out that day." So I was like, "Oh, so just like I should be worn out of detentions." And then because obviously like my mum was about to report that teacher, yeah, and then and then literally, yeah, the maths teacher tried dealing a deal with my mum, just being like, "If you don't, a reward of no detentions for a week." So obviously I'm just like, "Yeah, mum, take that reward." Then they didn't report the teacher, and I didn't have detentions for a whole week, so I could just be act cocky and shit. They wouldn't do shite. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you enjoy. Alright, can we play Career for Death Run? Some back.
Cool. I guess so.
Why, thank you, my dear. Hey, at least you can get some back in gameplay as well. Just because I need it for my next commentary.
Calm.